Okay.
Auckland Harbour Board and Takapuna Borough Council Empowering Act Amendment Bill, as has been canvassed. It's a local bill, and its sponsor is the local MP for North Shore, the Honourable Simon Watts. And so his community will be very happy with the work he's doing here. Can I also acknowledge other presence on the North Shore with my colleague Dan Bidwell, the MP for Northcote. And I'd like to think, Mr Speaker, that I have a part of the North Shore too. Of course, certainly a part of the former North Shore city with Greenhithe, Bayview, Unsworth Heights, Totravale, Wairau Valley. You should come, Deborah, you're most welcome to come to my electorate office at any time, and we can do a tiki tour of the electorate boundaries. Mr Speaker, this, as I've said, is a local bill, and its sponsor, by enabling this, will enable this club, this Bayswater Boathouse and the Takapuna Boating Club to get on and start paving the way for the restoration of that magnificent building dated in the 1920s. As has been alluded to, it was an old tannery building in Panmure Lagoon, and it was dismantled, barged, and then reconstructed by the Takapuna Boating Club in the early 1920s. Working bees, everything else. I don't know if there were building conceits.
I'm glad I'm not drinking
Resource
vodka.
Management Act back then. But once again, like most of this country, Grant, it was built by volunteers. And I also I think it's appropriate that we're doing it this week, a few days after the America's Cup that we won. New Zealand won back to back to back. There's 3 backs, isn't it? Back to back to back. And of course, the person who brought us the America's Cup, of course, was the late great Sir Peter Blake. And this, of course, sits on the Sir Peter Blake Parade, because that's where the Blake family were from. And we pay tribute to them, and we know that Sir Peter is looking down at us, not only willing on Auckland and the government to get behind and bring the America's Cup back to Tamaki Makaurau, but to get in and support his old boating club and restore his neighbourhood boathouse. And so I wanted to acknowledge his role in the sailing, in history of New Zealand, and in bringing America's Cup to us, which we have retained in 3 consecutive times. Mr Speaker, this big building, for those that don't know Auckland that well, it's when you head northbound over the motorway, over the Harbour Bridge, and you're entering the fabulous electorate of Northcote, the fabulous electorate of Northcote. There's signs of Dan Bidwell everywhere, but you look right, and you see that big timber building, 2 stories high, possibly 3 if you count the attic, and it's that big white building on the right over the Bayswater Marina. And that is ripe for redevelopment, for restoration. And so this bill, as others have said, enables an old piece of statute, enables it to be amended to allow part of it to be used for commercial purposes, but most of it to be retained for community use. And so this project, this piece of legislation led by the Honourable Simon Watts, is 100 years in the making. Aucklanders can be very proud that it's on its way and that Bayswater Boathouse is coming back to its former glory. I commend the bill to the House.
Speaker.
So this is our guest, not Nala. Hello.
I love what Kiwi Skirt said about Cameron Brewer.
Yeah. He's full of natural gas.
Yep. Oh yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of America's Cup as well. Might want to keep an eye on that one.
Okay.